Donald Trump, during the 4 years where he was not the president of the United States, in between his first and second term, as some people may know, the guy went through a lot of legal problems, okay? Not just with the criminal issues, but also civil issues, and he did not do well until, of course, we approached the 2024 election, then he won, then everything went away, except, of course, for these civil judgments against him. But, for the most part, he escaped everything, just like he always does. He truly is Teflon Don. The guy can get away with anything, and the things he's doing during this administration, thanks to last summer's Supreme Court ruling, he's not going to be prosecuted for anything ever here in the United States. He will get away with all of it. But notice that I said, here in the United States. See, the U.S. is not the only country in the world that has a court system. In fact, there is something called the International Criminal Court at The Hague that is best known, of course, for convicting people of international war crimes. You know, like, off the top of my head, bombing boats in the middle of the ocean because you think they may have drugs. And that is exactly the kind of thing that a MAGA lawyer, a fellow at the Heritage Foundation, which of course wrote Project 2025, a law professor at the Scalia School of Law, so this is a hardcore conservative, the guy likes Trump, but he wrote an article recently explaining exactly how and why Donald Trump is probably likely to be tried for these crimes at The Hague. Here's what he wrote. This is, of course, Eugene Kontarovic, professor at George Mason University Scalia Law School and a senior research fellow at the Heritage Foundation. His article was titled The Next Prosecution of Donald Trump. And he said, quote, "Before his second term began, President Trump was prosecuted repeatedly in state court, federal court, and the Senate. After it ends, he could face trial in another venue, the International Criminal Court in The Hague. The U.S. didn't sign the Rome Statute and therefore doesn't belong to the ICC, but the court can find a jurisdictional hook in actions the administration has taken abroad in ICC member states. The strikes on Venezuelan narco-terror smuggling boats provide one possible avenue. Shortly after the U.S. Navy destroyed the first such vessel, Ken Roth, a former head of Human Rights Watch, endorsed ICC intervention. Trump just did what the International Criminal Court has charged former Philippine President Duterte with doing, ordering the summary execution of alleged drug traffickers," Mr. Roth tweeted. "Venezuela is a Rome Statute party, which in the court's thinking gives it jurisdiction over U.S. officials and servicemen involved in the attacks. The ICC has already launched an investigation against a non-member state, Israel, based on a single boarding of a vessel flagged by a member state, so it has all the precedents it needs." Now, the rest of the article, he tries to explain how Donald Trump can get out of this and he can undermine the court. No. I know, look, you're a law professor, I am not. You're a legal research fellow, I am not. But you already laid out how they can do it. So then to say, but here's how he could get out of it, I don't think so. The question is, will they? I don't think the question is, could they? The answer to that is, yes, they absolutely could. Question is, will they? Donald Trump has wriggled his way out of every legal problem he has had here in the United States. It's what he's best known for. And I'm going way back before he ever decided to even run for president the first time. This man has escaped so much. His kids have escaped so much. But could it be that striking these vessels in the middle of the ocean, middle of the Caribbean actually, could be what does him in? Possibly. It is illegal. It's in international waters. You do not have the jurisdiction there. You do not have the jurisdiction over the people in the boats. They were not citizens of yours. But most importantly, you also have no evidence to justify what you did. Even this guy, Kontarovic, writing that these narco-terrorists, you don't know that they were. You're taking Donald Trump at his word, which is something a very stupid person does. This man has lied in office more than any other person since lies have been tracked. More than George W. Bush even. So to take him at his word is you have to be stupid to do that. But it's his word against nobody's. They can't defend themselves. They were blown up. We can't search the boats. The boats are at the bottom of the Caribbean. So that actually doesn't work out in Donald Trump's favor. If he had evidence that obviously the exploded people in the boats can't go and defend themselves against, he would have a way out. But he does not have evidence. If they did, they would have shown us long ago. That works against him with the International Criminal Court. So, you've prosecuted world leaders in the past, ICC. Do it again. Launch the investigation right now. He is going to continue doing it. He is continuing to do it. It's not that he's going to. He is continuing to do it. People will die. Civilians will die. Trump and J.D. Vance have admitted that. Like, boy, I wouldn't go out there if I were a fisherman. You might get blown up. They're admitting they don't know who the people are that they're killing. So, if ever there was a time for the